Roger, your internet is a little spotty. You're going in and out. Roger, your internet is a little spotty. You're going in and out. Roger, your internet is a little spotty.
Hare Krishna. Abhishek bhai.
Hare Krishna, Auntie. Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. So we are waiting for His Holiness Sama Prashad Maharaj to log back on. I think he might be having internet issues. So perhaps in the meantime, Gaur Gadadhar Prabhu, you can lead a small kirtan until Maharaj arrives.
We will make up for the kirtan after the Maharaj class.
Yeah.
So Hare Krishna. So Prabhu, please let us know when, just give us an indication or something. Or thumbs up.
As soon as you see Maharaj on the screen, you need to stop.
I'll let you know. I can let them know.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya
Gorgadata Prabhu, Maharaj is back online.
Okay, sure. Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Maharaj?
Hello, Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj, loud and clear.
My gosh, the connection broke. I had to disconnect, reconnect, disconnect. Oh my goodness, so frustrating. And I think I won't trust the video because it may break the connection again. Can I share my screen?
Yes, Maharaj, it's already enabled.
There we go. Okay. 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 You want to be the chief guest?
Sure, Maharaj.
Okay, thank you. Everybody else in the house is asleep. Today we had a meeting with our temple president and zonal supervisor. Okay. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More
Toma Bina Keda Ayala Jagata Sansare
Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare
Patita Pavana Hetu Tavavatara
Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatara
Mosamo Patita Prabhu Napaive Aram
Mosama Patita Prabhu Napai Beara
Aha Prabhu Nityananda Prema Premananda Sukhi.
Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi.
Kripa Balokana Koro Amivoro Dukhi.
Kripa Balokana Koro Ami Bora Dukhi.
Daya Koro Sita Pati Advaita Gosai.
Doya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai.
Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai.
Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai.
Gora Prema Maya Tanu Pandita Gadadara.
Gora Prema Maya Tanu Pandita Gadai.
Srinivasa Hari Dasa Doya Rasagara.
Srinivasa Hani Dasa Doyara Sagara.
Haha Swarup Sanatana Ruparagunata.
Aha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha.
Bata Yoga Shri Deva Haprabhu
Vata Yoga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanath.
Doya Koro Shriya Charya Prabhu Swainivasa.
Doya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa.
Ramachandra Sangha Magai Narottama Dasa.
Ramachandra Sangamage Naratama Dasa.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Translation. My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds? Your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls. Yes? Yes. But I assure you that you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. Okay. So we can all think that, well, maybe I have some good qualities. Maybe I was vegetarian since birth. Maybe I have very, very good intellectual abilities. Come from so many things. But then we can look at it and see, well, yes, but what are you doing with your qualifications? Somebody with 1/10 the qualifications is doing 3 times as much as we are, and we're hiding so many different attachments in terms of reading sports magazines or ladies' fashion magazines or something. And so we have a kind of hypocritical nature to ourselves. So who is the most fallen in terms of our own position? We can really consider that. My dear Lord Nityananda, you're always joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy. Of course, what is our happiness? Our happiness is actually in seeing our friend, Krishna, happy. And Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, they're unhappy to see the condition of everybody in this world. And so our satisfaction then is to see that we have some practical position in Srila Prabhupada's Sankirtan movement. And actually that, of course, is Nitya. Whatever we develop in terms of that, we'll be able to go on developing. And as we become more purified in our activities within the prison house, then those activities actually become related to our activities outside the prison house. And so our Nitya, our eternal form, Nitya Swarup, it also is increasing in its ability, its nature. We're designed created for a certain purpose. And even Krishna doesn't know what we can do. So we're discovering our service, building our ability, and enhancing ourselves. And it's so important, more important than anything we can imagine in the material world. So even while we're in the spiritual world, as we become purified, we're also developing, our eternal form. Okay. And of course, it's very, very nice. Today is Ekadasi, but at least here in Peru, maybe other places, I know other places too, the fasting is actually tomorrow on Dwadasi. So we'll be doing probably fasting until noon and having an Ekadasi fast, taking maybe offering Ekadasi preparations to Lord Varaha. And then Sunday for us is also Dwadasi, 2 days. And then Monday is Nityananda Trayodasi. It's very interesting because first is the appearance day. We celebrate the appearance of Madhavinda Puri. And we can do that nicely. Such katha is available about him, and we can feel his association through that. And every year, we go around the year, every year. We go around every day, around the day, and we should be making progress. Actually, should come to the point where every breath we're making progress. So as we go through the year, then we appreciate Madhavinda Puri and his relationship with the Gopal deity, and how he never even begged anything. He just accepted whatever people offered him. And then after of course, he is the spiritual master of both Nityananda and Advaita. And then comes the appearance day of Advaita Acharya, who is so kind, that he called Lord Chaitanya to appear. And then the appearance day of Nityananda, so it's just one after another. And we can show you some of the other things we've been doing here. But this song is so nice. I was trying to think what to do. And the song is, you can just sing it all day long. And so now he's asking, Nityananda, you're always joyful. Kindly make me joyful. Please allow me to do more effective service in Lord Chaitanya's movement. 4, my dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. So Advaita, we always think, again, if somebody is handing me something, if somebody's using a stick and they're hitting me on the head, then I say, why are you hitting me? And they say, I'm not hitting you, the stick is hitting you. Okay. And also somebody, if they're leaving a message on a tape recorder, it's not them, but it's almost the same thing. So Prabhupada gives that example, the time factor. Time is the external manifestation. Time is of Shiradakshay Vishnu. So that's Advaita. You know, you always like the story of Nimai and his friends were there in Navadvip, and Advaita, who was very, very great, powerful Brahmin in the area, respected by everybody. He was arranging for a Guru Puja for Madhavinda Puri, and many men were constructing different platforms and places for dramas and things like that. And there were rooms full of coconuts, rooms full of bananas, rooms full of grains, and people were cooking and making preparation. Rooms full of cloth. And Nimai and his friends were looking at all these preparations. And it says that Nimai was thinking to himself confidentially, I think Advaita Acharya must be an incarnation of Lord Shiva. No ordinary human being could show such opulence. And the husband of Sita. So such access, to Lord Nityananda and the Lord Chaitanya, to the Paramatma in our lives, as things that happen to us because of the changes of time. 5, Gaura's love embodiment is shown by Gadadhar Pandit. Srinivas Pandit and Haridas are the ocean of mercy. So I always remember I had the fortune to be in Mayapur. And of course, probably all of us have such nice memories. We're just collecting all these nice memories, waking up our nature. And it was, the disappearance day of Gadadhar Pandit. And some Bengali brahmacharis were just chanting there as part of the 24-hour kirtan. And it's just amazing because they're living in Navadvip, and for them, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they walked around the same place, and the Dham becomes just like part of their life in some ways. Of course, it's dangerous to take it to become too familiar, but at the same time, okay, a little bit maybe some of that is there, but most of it is this becoming absorbed in Gaura Lila as your family member. So they were chanting. It was a times ago. Gorangera of Lord Gauranga. Gorangera Nija Shakti Gadadhar Gosai. Gorangera Nija Shakti Gadadhar Gosai. Nija, your own. That's who Gadadhar Pandit is. He's Lord Chaitanya's own personal power. Lord Chaitanya's own personal power. So he's offering his obeisances to Gadadhar. And then Srinivas is coming before Narottam. He's Narada Muni, Haridas Thakur, Brahma Haridas. And so all these different aspects of how kind is Lord Brahma, how kind is Narada, within this universe, they're giving is coming, and such an ocean of different possibilities we have. O Swarup Damodar, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O 6 Goswamis, Rupa, Sanatan, Raghunath Bhatta, Gopal Bhatta, Jiva, and Raghunath Das Goswami. O Lokanath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master, Narottam Das, praise for your mercy. O Srinivas Acharya, successor to the 6 Goswamis, be merciful to me. Narottam Das always desires to come from Ramachandra Chakravarti. So we're very fortunate. We find one devotee, other devotees in this movement with whom we can have a friendship, who are absorbed in the same mood of Sankirtan. Partly because of just our material situation and nature, and beyond that, of course, in terms of our own particular, taste and devotional service as we develop, and we have somebody, who we can converse with confidentially and work with like that, because we feel very, very happy to have the association of Sri Sri Radhanath Bar and all of their eternal servants like that. It's such a very, very nice song. These songs are, of course, wonderful to complete a few songs, and you can preach, very effectively, as much as necessary. The Bhaktivedanta library, all the books that Srila Prabhupada has given us, including all these songs, is unlimited. Even in 100 years, you cannot study all these books, thoroughly. Yeah. So we have to take what is important for us, develop our own consciousness, our own intelligence, and then build our character and preach. So we're thinking about this parampara here, especially tonight. And it's so nice. Here we have Narottam Das Thakur. Well, maybe there was no Narottam Das Thakur or something. But if you look at people now, as you go through them, you're seeing that Christianity is going through such, challenges, which is good. It's good. It's the biggest religion in the world. So many people call themselves Christians, and there's variety, but they are connected. And of course, some people just take it as a name only and don't actually follow much, but still, it's there. And you see now that there's so much, very rational review, intelligent review about the different books in the Bible and their resources and things like that. And if we understand, the Pope is saying that, we're not trying to suppress any kind of intelligent investigation of these things. People, Christ is quite.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj
Hello.
Ramgiridhari here.
Yeah.
Can you be slightly more louder, Maharaj? Because your voice is very feeble. We're able to hear you, but it's all very bit soft, unless you're, having some difficulty speaking.
Okay, let me do this. No, I'm not. I'll go to. Let's see now. What do I do here? I go to microphone, and I'll try off the headset. How's that, Rangavidari? Is it better?
It's super, first class.
Okay, it was Abhishek's headset. Thank you. I wish you'd come on earlier. Yeah.
I was just doubting myself. That is only, my problem. I was checking my ears and phone and everything else. Then I cross-checked with others. Then I thought probably I should let you know. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. So we're talking about the Narottam Das Thakur. I talk about Christianity, the other religious traditions. The Bhagavatam is always supplying contrasts where we can see something to contrast our own position. Bhagavad Gita, the demons and the devotees. So in Christianity, which occupies, probably all of us have contact with some Christian friends or Christian people, and then looking at their position, understanding what's happening with them. And they're going through so many challenges, which is, of course, good. I'm going through very serious challenges in terms of my spiritual life, which is very good, because we have to become purified of all these different superficial attachments we have. Even Devahuti, she was lamenting when Kardama was leaving that I just took the superficial aspect of your association. I'm a Hare Krishna, but people claim to be something else. Radha Syami, there's some purification, but we have to get to the essence of the thing, the transcendental aspect of our religion. What to speak of getting to the possibility of understanding, Krishna's confidential pastimes, which is very important for Krishna. So Narottam, here we have a historical personality as being passed down to Vishwanath Chakravarti. Vishwanath Chakravarti, another very clearly historical personality. And from him it's being passed down to the Babajis, and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who's just recent. And of course, his production, his literature, his work, the Bhaktivedanta Research Center, as we understand, is collecting, new manuscripts by him, things that he wrote, which is just the fact that there's such prolific production of literature is indication of something unusual, some power to be able to talk about these things for us so often. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada, and then disciples who were can attest to different transcendental experiences. Everybody from their own perspective. Of course, Prabhupada came to the West, and he makes this point, which is obvious, that preaching to Western people, okay, India may be growing, Krishna consciousness is growing in India, but we directly talked to Gauranga, myself and Yadananda Swami were saying, well, come on, you're developing all these things. You have all these brahmacharis and people in India building temples. Why aren't you fulfilling Prabhupada's mission of preaching in the West? And they said, look, Bhakti Charu Maharaj was telling us to do this, Radhana Swami. He said, we sent like 7 different times, for example, people to New York. And he said, out of those, 5 of them all just, got it, left the temple atmosphere, everything else, got married, all the brahmacharis, and started businesses and that kind of stuff. He said the 2 that survived were Grihastha couple who just were doing work in the temple as pujaris and things like that. So we have to be able to do these things to the level where we can go out and try and accomplish the things that Prabhupada accomplished, and also some Western disciples also that they're attesting to the power that if you chant your nice rounds in the morning and have full morning program, good Bhagavatam class, good kirtan, association of devotees, and then trying to participate with to your ability, always fighting the witches' temptations. Then in the evening, come back and go back to the temple of pure atmosphere in Gaur Artik. And what happens? Then you see is amazing things are possible, amazing things which make us understand, no, there has to be transcendental. And so we can see the Narottam clearly. Narottam, of course, is showing us, he's right there with Lord Chaitanya. On the other hand, like we're saying that in Christianity, if you look at these things, there's so many different archaeological research. This kind of money is not available in India they do this kind of research. But in the Middle East, people put in so much in money investigation for archaeological investigation of the literature. So many things occur, but it brings doubts because it appears that their scriptures, have very logical and empirical, problems. And so then it becomes, necessary to confront these things and look at, well, why do we believe? Why are we Christians? And of course, by looking at the Hare Krishnas, one can understand, okay, this is some of the things that are motivating them are also motivating us. So I think let's talk about this song again. Again, Lord Nityananda's appearance day is coming very quickly. And to repeat what we said in case you couldn't hear it, first we see Madhavinda Puri's appearance day. Then we see Advaita Acharya's appearance day. Then we see Lord Nityananda's appearance day. And then Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga. So I can talk on for 7 days and 7 nights without stopping here. But any questions or comments from anybody?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhanavads. Very happy
Hare
to
Krishna. It's
very
bad
happy
go.
to hear you, Maharaj. I had always been having this question regarding Gaudiya Vaishnava and the process of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission. But we also hear that Mahaprabhu, participated and helped or met Ramanujacharya. He had, met several other, personalities and things like that. So what I wanted to understand is this whole arrangement of Mahaprabhu's mercy in his avatar or in his form available only in this Kali Yuga, or is it that Mahaprabhu will still bestow his mercy in every possible Kali Yuga, whilst Kali Yuga Harinam Sankirtan is the process, that Mahaprabhu's Leela and the Midas touch that we get of Mahaprabhu, will that be available only in this Kali Yuga, or how is that arrangement?
I can't give exact Shastric citations, but what I've heard, everything else, is that usually there's a Yuga avatar, and he promotes the Yuga Dharma, which is chanting of the holy names. And from that, of course, then we have access to jnana, by chanting, jnana yoga. We can study books and get good intelligence. We have access to fire sacrifices. They become potent. And so all these things by the Yuga Dharma. But that avatar, only gives the holy names in the mood of Vaikuntha. Hare is the Bhakti form of Hari. So one can be chanting, "Oh Hari, oh Rama, Ramachandra, oh Krishna," and that's people chant in the mood. So that's what I understand. Yes, so it's Lord Chaitanya only appears after the incarnation of Krishna, and so it's a very, very rare opportunity.
Thank you, Maharaj. Just a rejoinder there is that, sure, as a Yuga avatar, the Lord might come in some form. So the Krishna Prem component that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is delivering through this process of Sankirtan mission, or the Skolokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtana, and eventually gives us the same result as otherwise everyone else would have got through the process of pure devotional service. So is that unique that Mahaprabhu is only delivering, or that will be available in every Kali Yuga for those who have chanted?
No, that's what I'm saying. What I understand, usually in every Kali Yuga, the Dharma is Harinam, but usually it's not Lord Chaitanya, not Krishna himself. And so the Vishnu expansion, incarnation, gives the holy names in the mood of Vaikuntha. So then when you're chanting Hare, you're not chanting O Radhe, you're chanting O Hari.
Okay. I got the connect now. Previously I was trying to. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. For me, it's so nice. I was feeling when I couldn't connect. See, what's happening with my connection is bizarre. I had to go before, when we went to Vedas.com, it opens the home web page. And when we try and do the sub pages, it won't connect. We have to disconnect, reconnect. So I got a hold of Prahlad Nrsimha, and we went back and forth. He took control of my computer. There's something which is happening. It happens to other devotees too, which in our local tower, there's some etiquette problem. So he gave me a program called WinScribe, which makes the protocol think that I'm calling him from Atlanta, Georgia, rather than Santa Eulalia. So I had to unload, reload, load, reload, unload, and finally we confused the local, because it says, "Oh, your internet connection has been blocked." I don't know why, So somehow, and I was feeling this so bad. My gosh, I did all this preparation today. I found out I have to go to bed about 5 o'clock in the afternoon and take a good nap. And then when everybody else is falling apart and going to sleep, we're in the country here. By 8:30, everybody's in bed here. All the dogs are curled up and devotees, So then I come online here. For me, I've been here for 6 months now, practically speaking, like that and stuff. And we've gone through so many things. And we have more. It's good. Every day it's getting so intense. I knew it would. Everybody is coming. Oh my gosh, I got to see Maharaj before he leaves. Maharaj, this is so important. I'm going to die. So today our zonal supervisor came, my good friend for many years, Mataresh Das, and then also our local temple president, Krishna. And we made arrangements for them to come, and we have prasad, and we have social spacing, and we only chance we get to see them. It was such an intense experience. And now, of course, the movie, we're getting down to the last part of it here, where we're in the same house. And it's making this movie, that's our Sankirtan now. We're trying to consolidate all this stuff we've done. And of course, we're starting here in Peru. And Peru means people are coming from Argentina. People are coming from Chile and other places like that. And now we tried to do Bolivia. and so many years together. These people are people that work on the United Nations, and down here we've been able to contact so many, very, very elevated people socially and everything else. And then they had the introduction to the movie they showed us, and it was completely wrong. It was completely off on some of the most fundamental principles. It's called Diary of a Traveling Creature, The Ultimate Trip, the movie. And if you know us, you know that we've been doing these diaries through Monkey and Piggy. Last 2 weeks ago, we showed the introduction that we were suggesting, Tom Brown and Buck White. So even now, where people are thinking that Hanuma Preshakswami is the traveling creature. So it's kind of an insult, Oh, he's the traveling creature, Hanuma. I am not the traveling creature. I'm more elevated. But it comes back with the director. We're talking about, no, Hanuma Preshakswami is also a persona. Abhishek Singh, who is now known as Manjari Singh, is a persona within a persona. And these are not our swarups. It's like in the prison, maybe you get a special prison uniform because you become a trustee. Okay, now you get a different color uniform and that's definitely okay. It's almost like, regular clothes. And so Tom Brown and Buck White, Monkey and Piggy, these are persona that we use. Behind the persona, the mask, is the psyche, which is translated as soul, often in the Judeo-Christian tradition. So our director and everything else, and even now with Radhika Ramana appreciating, they said, well, we haven't got time to do up that whole animation thing you suggested in your PowerPoint show, and really, really just challenging me. So, but I was honestly saying that they say, look, if I discover my entire life was a failure, it doesn't bother me. It bothers me, but it's like, it's but I have something beyond that. How do you know your life is worthwhile? If you can chant Hare Krishna, right now, if you can just stop and chant the whole Maha Mantra, hey, your life was a success. But yeah, beyond that, whatever we can accomplish, let's try and accomplish. So then finally we sorted it out left and right. Pablo was coming back. Our guy, he stayed one night. We had to arrange accommodations because more and more people are coming. And then so when he was here, I just grabbed him and said, look, and I came back in the morning after the Mangalarti, my rounds were done. I sat down and Krishna inspired me, and I was able to write down an entire, summary from the PowerPoint show, edited a little bit. And Pablo set up all the lighting stuff, and we sat there and we recorded it 5 times before we got it. But everybody said, very nice. We got introduction of who is Hanuma Preshakswami, what is the movie, everything else. And everybody very satisfied. Now we understand, it's very clear. Okay. And then we had, of course, we did shadow puppets. And these are just so wonderful. The daughter of the owner of our beautiful hacienda here, she came back and spent time with 3 of the 4 devotees and helped make, they worked like 7 hours a day making these shadow puppets with colors. And then they're practicing working with them. And it's part of the Ramayana. It's very interesting. But the thing is, we're just not what to do. And so I said, okay, look, we'll leave them here. And devotees here that want to work on them, they can go ahead and film them and do work here on them here, and maybe develop a little community, which is going to start developing shadow puppets, in Peru, and maybe build it to the entire Ramayana. So it's kind of what we're doing. We're concentrating our efforts and leaving it behind. Here's an inheritance. So it may develop into beautiful shadow puppet tradition in Peru. And then also we have the hand-drawn stuff we're doing, which of course is the essence of our diaries in many ways. And we're learning a lot, always so much more about this graphic art stuff. And it touches our heart very nice. We can try and figure out, well, what size do you need? Okay, we saw what you're doing now, but it's wrong size. Well, what size do you need? We need this size. Okay. And then, of course, if you're starting to use a larger size when you're doing cartoons, then you've got to change the kind of pens you're using. It's a whole technical thing. And so then I bought some pens, and they said, okay, that's a good size. And for going from a notebook to a video, that's a good size. But then, of course, if you're using Xerox paper and the different kind of pins moves too smoothly. There's no dragging, so you can't get the texture you need. Okay, so then we got to use a different kind of paper. So that's what's happening with us. We're facing real challenges, but it looks like what's happening now is we'll be developing a hand drawing style, which you can do everywhere, which you can communicate with who we are. Somebody else communicates with their cooking. Somebody else communicates by how they go to work and meet their friends like that. What we're seeing is that maybe distribution on the street, traveling everywhere else. What we're seeing now is that the most powerful Sankirtan method is where the whole community becomes Krishna conscious, and they just preach Yare Deki Tare Kahe Krishna Upadesh. Whoever they meet, whoever they're in contact with, they just start preaching in that area. And instead of having, maybe 10,000 people distributing 100 books a day, you have 10 million people, distributing 10 books a month. Okay, but and you become more and more empowered to do it in your own area. So all of our director and our crew and everybody else, they say prasadam, they say Hare Krishna. They're philosophically and practically speaking becoming convinced. This is something I've come across, something real. I've done documentaries on so many religious communities, cultural communities. But now this one is exactly what I was looking for by this. These guys are profound. How profound are they? And so we're having these very challenging experiences. And last minute, and while he was here, we had basically 10 minutes before our program with San Marcos University started. They said, quick, we got to, because again and again, they say, we've got to get film you doing the drawings so people understand where they're coming from. So the same setup that we use for recording the introduction, Pablo just moved the camera, moved the other camera, wait a second. San Marcos program is starting, wait a second. Okay, take. And I sat there and started drawing and talking about what I was doing as I was doing it. And then it was finished, and Pablo said, it's a wrap. He said, it's really good. And then one more thing when he came back from filming the temple was that we were thinking about using these hand puppets that we have. Somebody did them in Peru. I don't have them here, but they're about big enough to cover your whole arm. And they have rods for the hands. And we're working with them. And when you get somebody moving the rods down below, expressing themselves, they can scratch their face, they can clap their hands. And then you get the mouth on top and the head. They're as good as anything you're going to get. I'm really expressive. And people who were, Raul was doubting a little bit, but I took the puppet up and started using it behind and talking with it. He just broke into laughter and stuff, and it was asking him questions. Okay, well, we won't be able to film them here. So I'm going to get a box and pack them properly and take them to the US, and you'll see them. Monkey and Piggy are coming to Nashville. And then maybe we'll be able to work on them there and get them so they can do dialogues and discuss stuff. And then we can communicate.
Perhaps can you give us a kind of a small trailer at some point in time, because I'm so intrigued that you have been working on a movie for so many months, and probably I'm not sure if you are privileged to see that snippets or some sort of a glimpse of what you have been doing. So whenever you think, if you are suitable to do that.
What we're trying to do. My nature is more mangsa, was the words peaceful, but that's the whole thing. We have a team now, and Abhiram, he can be this heavy driving guy. So he's the producer. It's just working out naturally. So he's pushing the director, Raul, and the director of photography, Paulo, to get everything done on time. So his thing, when Hanuman Prashak Swami leaves, he'll have two things. He'll have a 10 terabyte, little hard drive to take all the stuff with him. And he'll also have a 48-minute movie, So that by March 7th, which is, we don't need a trailer, but supposedly by March 7th, the movie will be done. The first phase. And when we leave the US, we'll have the next one. When we leave Spain, we'll have the next one. And when we all arrive in Vatican, have the last one. So that's right now what we're working towards, to have it edited and everything else. So then the arm puppets, we just opened we have a beautiful window here that works as a beautiful puppet gallery. We had to squeeze down two of us in this way and that way, and Pablo's at this angle, that angle, got the stuff set up. And then when we come, because part of the movie is arriving in Lima, and they got a drone. One devotee has a drone, and beautiful pictures of the temple from above, beautiful pictures of where we are from above. They edited it all in. Okay, said, okay, so when we're becoming ubicated, fixed in our position here, let's just have these arm puppets just peep through the window. And he said, excellent idea. Because what happens is you're looking around, this is where we're going to be for the next, we're going to be doing the interviews and everything else. And then, there's Monkey and Piggy right in the window, sticking their heads out. Yeah. And that's enough. Because in the next movie, if they start to show up and talk more and everything else, okay. And if we explain more, so we're doing it like that, what's it called, like spirals. So we'll have the same thing as all the stuff we do here, which we can't edit and get done. We'll be able to take the time. Because in North and South America, we have so many people we can contact, big people, nice people, because they're more personal. You go to North America, it's so impersonal, but we have unsurpassable buildings. We're starting to contact Tejas and the devotees in Houston. There's a schedule, and they're becoming so enthusiastic about helping us, And so while we're there from the 7th to the 19th, we'll do initiations. We'll go around, and Raul's starting to say, no, film this, film that. This time, do this. And he's got the image in mind about how we can consolidate our experiences with one of the greatest accomplishments that ISKCON has done. In all of the United States, that Houston community is one of our greatest accomplishments. Okay, let's consolidate the work, show everybody what the results were, and then let's pass it on. And when we come back again, we can pick up our own advice, and we can all be in the Gurukulas together. So it's kind of what we've been doing. Any questions or comments then? Any more?
One small additional point, Maharaj. I attended that seminar symposium.
Oh God.
I didn't attend. I didn't understand a word of everything everybody else said. But the slide that you projected, where you drove a parallel between our Vaishnavacharya tradition to the modern tradition, I actually took a photocopy of, kind of a snapshot of that. Even the modern tradition, I didn't completely follow, but I was able to draw how this parallel that you drew was very nice, and for that audience, it was must have been very relevant, and it's very profound of that, Maharaj. I just want to say that.
Can you see it on our screen now?
No, your screen is not visible, Maharaj.
Okay, I'm going to go up here to, there it is. Okay. How do I do this? I click that. Okay. Oh, I go to share screen. Okay. Yeah. That's why I'm saying this San Marcos program we've had this continuous challenge with the translations, and we worked on this. So I got translators for you, but they can't translate.
Not this one, the other one. That's the main slide.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, Maharaj.
This is what I was saying. We had to run off to the San Marcos program. This is the oldest university in the Western world. This is what we're doing with. They're 311 years older than Calcutta University. Dr. Samaresh is like admitting, well, okay. And it's been in continuous education, such resources, So with them, because of us, they started a Center for Asian and Oriental Studies, which also includes making money, say us. So basically, the program is, so this is what we did. It was, the topic was, we picked the topic, masters and disciples. And everybody all over the place, everybody said the same thing. Very good topic, but you're going to have to limit it. So we had very prominent people making presentations, and it was good, but it was all within the Latin-speaking community, and good responses. And so when I gave the final thing, I said it will be 300% more effective if we can solve this language problem. They paid $100 of NEOS's money to have multilingual things. And you were supposed to log on, pick your language, and there was a simultaneous translator. But he couldn't do it very well. So we're still working with this challenge. But everybody said, okay, yeah, every 2 months. It was so good, so good. And so the next time will be Ram Navami when we're in what you call it, in Richmond, and Radhika Raman will be there. And so what I did was looking at the traditions of science and the Vedas. And of course, I ran right in to do this right after filming Monkey and Piggy and graphics and everything else. So what do you see, Ram Giridhari? What are these two pictures?
Krishna teaching to Arjuna, and Newton looking at an apple fallen from that tree and thinking about it.
Yeah, I had to adjust these. I finally found these, and yeah, these are wonderful. Yeah, this is a iconographic picture from science, which everybody understands, even if you come from South India. On the other hand, Bhagavad Gita, yeah, that's the most iconic thing from the Vedas. Okay, next slide. There we go. So we did it, had to finish everything off in 18 minutes, and we were on time. Other people went over, driving Abhiram into frothing anger. So science, the West, we have the tradition. Pythagoras introduced mathematics. Socrates introduced this system of science, what's it called? Rational empiricism, thinking everything out, looking at it. And of course, his disciple was Plato. His disciple was Aristotle. Spanish spelling, Aristoteles. And he gave us all this stuff on biology, everything. Then after him came Euclid, which gave us the whole system of geometry, which is the basis of 90% of all the mathematics we used, maybe 98%. Other stuff is there, but it has a whole tradition of certain philosophical principles. And maybe some of these people had to take vows of initiation when they went into these academies, but mostly it was an intellectual respect and studying. At least it was that. Then from Euclid, it went from 300 BC to Averroes, who was a scholar, what do you call it, Muslim Arab scholar. And through him, it came right into Thomas Aquinas. And it was a big debates in Christianity and academic life about accepting these ideas of Euclid from Averroes. But St. Thomas Aquinas is one of the most gigantic acharyas in the Christian tradition. And he brought some of these ideas in. And his idea was, if you want to understand the rabbit, you're going to pop out his eyeballs, pull out his teeth, cut open his stomach, take out his intestines, take out his heart, and then, okay, now I know the rabbit. Analytical approach. And Radhika was the commentator, and he was saying this is what everybody takes in theology and everything else. The same time as St. Thomas was St. Bonaventura. And the ideas, they took their doctorates at the same moment. And Bonaventura's ideas was synthetic. You want to understand the rabbit, you kind of track him down, you get to the point where you can associate with him. You start finding out what food he likes to eat, you supply that, what his habits are, his friends, what kind of language he communicates. And so that people are trying to say we have to change from this analytical thing to this synthetic view. We have to include both service rather than manipulation. And we see it pops right down to Sir Isaac Newton, Immanuel Kant, Nietzsche, and then Jung. And we're trying now, we're just pushing to get a hold of Bernardo Nantes, of South America. And of course, he presented our side, which we're very familiar with. And we think it was very, very effective contrast. And so I know I was so, you can imagine, it was just so frustrated, so unhappy, because I was thinking, I invited you, Ram Giridhari, I invited Dr. Samaresh, and your logon is just not working. And here they were running, we had, our studio was in the room, they're running back and forth and trying to get these things going. And after it was over 2 days, well, we got so many nice comments from the participants. Yeah, we want to go ahead with you. You're very big people, very incredible, understanding. But we got to break this barrier. So we've got some, very practical ways to do it. And it's not just us. Other people are also facing this. You want to translate business English, okay. You want to translate intellectual English, more difficult. You want to start translating philosophical and mystical stuff, they're almost impossible. We can get a translator, but it would cost us $250 an hour. And they're worth it, but they do it. It's just incredible that, that you're exhausted for 2 days, 3 days afterwards to try and translate this stuff. So that's why they have to make that kind of money, because you can't work afterwards. I mean, it's just like Saraswati enters their body. I mean, I've seen it. It's just incredible. Okay, I guess we should stop here. We want to thank everybody so much, for your association. I don't any other comments or questions? We'll be back in Nashville on the 19th of March, if it is possible. Yeah. We now call upon our chief guest, Manjari Singh, to make some kind of final comments.
Well, thank you, Maharaj. We certainly appreciate you joining us. I think my dad just unmuted himself. So, Dad?
Yes, Maharaj, thank you very much. I'm getting a little late, but we have to finish our kirtan too. And Gadadhar Prabhu is late for him too. So hopefully we'll see you soon, Maharaj.
Okay, I'm gonna,
no, Maharaj is there.
There it is. One. Okay, well, if it crashes now, it's okay.
Okay. See you in 2 weeks, Maharaj.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribol.
Thank you, Maharaj. Okay. Gorgadada Prabhu, if you could just do a short 10-minute kirtan, please.
Okay, sure, Prabhu.
If it's not too late for you.
That's correct. If it's not too late for you.
No problem, Prabhu. No problem. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
You have to unmute yourself, Gorgadhar Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thandavika Prabhu, Yashomati Nandan.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Could you be my responder, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yasomati Nandana Vrajabara Nagara Kukula Ranjana Kana
Yashomati Nandana Brajabaranagada Gokula Ranjana Kana
Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidana
Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kali Adamanavi Dana
Amala Harina Mamiya Vilasa
Amalahari Mamiya Vilasa
Bipina Purandara Navina Nagaravara Vamsi Vadana Suvasa
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamsi Vadana Suvasa
Braja Janapalana Surakula Nasana Nanda Godana Raghuvala
Braja Janapalana Surakulana Sana Nanda Godana Rako Wala
Govindam Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundara Nanda Gopala
Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanagara Rasarasiha Kripamoya
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Kripa Maya
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara Bhakti Vinoda Shraya
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Bhakti Vinoda Shaya
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Yasomati Nandana Braja Baranagara Kukula Ranjana Kana
Yashamati Nandana Brajabaranagada Gokula Ranjana Kana
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Bhakti Vinoda Shraya
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Nattabada Bhakti Vinoda Shaya.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Translation. Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yasoda, the transcendental lover in land of Braja, the delight of Gokul, Kana, a nickname of Krishna. The wealth of the life of Gopis, he steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya serpent. These pure holy name of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastime. Krishna is the Lord of the 12 forests of Braja. He is ever youthful and the best of lovers. He is always playing on a flute and he is an excellent dresser. Krishna is the protector of the inhabitants of Braja. He destroyed the various demonic dynasties, the keeper and tender of Nanda Maharaja's cows, and giving pleasure to the cows, land, and spiritual senses, the husband of goddesses of fortune, the buttertief, and the beautiful cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna wandered along the bank of river Yamuna. He stole the garment of themselves of Braja who were bathing there. He delights the mellow of rasa dance. He is very merciful, the lover and beloved of Srimati Radharani and great dancer of Vrindavan, and the shelter and only refugee of Tahur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, can I get a volunteer to sing the Nishringa prayer?
What happened to Brahma Sangita?
All right, there's also that. Okay, Mr. Chairman, Prabhu.
प्रमादिभूतेषु कलनियमेन तिष्ठन् नानाव्रतम् अक्रोधभवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णा स्वयं सम्भवत् परमापमन्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमं भजामि रामादिभूतेषु कलनियमेन तिष्ठन् नानाव्रतम् अक्रोधभवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णा स्वयं सम्भवत् परमापमन्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमं भजामि रामादिवृतेषु कलनियमेन तिष्ठन् नानाव्रतम् अक्रोधभवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णा स्वयं सम्भवत् परमापमन्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमं भजामि रामादिवृतेषु कलनियमेन तिष्ठन् नानाव्रतम् अक्रोधभवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णा स्वयं सम्भवत् परमापमन्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमं भजामि. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Narsingha, Vaman, etc., as his subjective portions.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Madhav Prabhu is trying to chant the Narsingha prayer.
It's
Madhav
all
Prabhu?
his. Mother Prabhu, it's all you.
Namaste Narasimhaya Paladaladaine Hiranyakasipu Vakshaha Silatankanakhalai Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha Yato Yato Yamitato Narsingha Vahe Narsingha Hidaye Narsingha Narsingha Madim Sharanam Prapade Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranya Kasipu Tanubhringam Kesavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Singh Bhagwan ki jai, भक्त शिरोमणि श्रील प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, संबल वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Thank you, Prabhu. All right, so that concludes this evening's program. If everyone will go ahead and mute themselves, we'll recite the Vaishnava Pranam prayer.
Kalpataruvyascha kripa sindhuvaya vacha
Patitanam
patitam pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namah.